You're smiling like in the video, Dad. You're smiling like in the video. All right, so this is take two. This is the second one. I'm gonna have to adjust it because I got the landscape going now. Let's see, it's better, a little bit better now. How are we centered there?
Yep, good.
All right, so we were talking about like your dad and how he instilled these core values and stuff in you, what it meant to you when you were 10 years old, right? So you were out in the farm, right?
Yep,
Okay.
way out in the bush.
We're out in the bush, you're doing hard work.
Yep. And then of course, my grandparents got fed up on me because I found
Sorry.
some neighborhood kids
You gotta speak up a little bit too. Sorry, yeah.
and started to hang out.
Yeah?
A couple of their houses were spaced out like every mile there's a home. So, and then it was so distant away. So after a couple of years, my grandparents said, "That's it. Yeah, send me back to civilization."
Wait, you weren't living at home?
No, I was living in the bush,
Where?
in the country, in the tableland.
Which house was this?
My grandparents.
Oh, you were living with your grandparents.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
And
Okay.
then, so when they thought I was tamed enough, so when I came back to the city life,
Yeah.
I started acting up again. And this time they shipped me out to another family.
Were you going to school though when you were out there in Tableland?
No,
You weren't going to school?
nope, no school. There was no school around, dude.
But you were 10 years old. You were supposed to be in school, right?
Yeah,
like everybody else?
yeah.
But you didn't go to school.
Nope,
Man, I didn't know that.
no schooling.
Wow.
Yeah, there wasn't any school out there. To
Okay.
get to school, it's like 20 miles of commute.
Wow. Okay. So you came back home. You started
Yeah.
acting up again.
And then they shipped me off to another family to live for a couple of years. That's where I went to school.
Which family was this?
This is a family on my father's side.
Okay.
Yeah. And I lived there for another 2 years.
Yeah.
Yep. Until, of course, going to school now, I was like, I wasn't being obedient in terms of following the school rules. I made up my own rules as I went along.
Okay.
I went to school whenever. I leave the classroom at any given time, just walked out and go hang out around, walk around to all the different classrooms, and all the kids are looking at me and the teachers, and what are you doing here? So I'm just checking out the classrooms, but I was looking at girls.
You're looking at girls.
Yeah! Scoping out the different girls.
Oh, shoot, that's funny.
So then, and then,
So you started going to school and everything, scoping out the girls.
yeah. I said, wow, man, school is great. Look at how many girls here.
That's funny. Oh man, so you stayed in school then, obviously.
Yeah. And of course, I was a rebel in school, so
Yeah.
I got my ass whipped silly by one of the teachers.
Oh really?
Oh man, they was corporal punishment back in the days.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So kids are well behaved.
Yeah.
Teachers give you discipline, corporal punishment.
Yeah.
Oh, they whip your ass silly.
Nowadays you can't even talk. You can't even use one term. People get so offended now, right?
Yeah, I think they should bring it back for all these little snotty-nosed kids around today.
Yeah. Even for people like in general,
Yeah.
like they're so fragile, right?
Yeah.
I think so too.
So then, so finally, they sent me back
Yeah.
to the civilization.
Okay.
But this uncle I lived with, it was an okay place. They were very wealthy people, extremely wealthy.
Yeah.
So I had everything and anything I wanted. But then boredom kicked in, and at the age age of 15, I believe, I said, you know what? I gotta leave this country. I gotta get out of here. This place is claustrophobic. This is
Yeah, yeah,
one or two things gonna happen to me. That I'm gonna be dead or in jail.
yeah.
So I packed a little bag. Back then we didn't have backpacks, so I made my own little backpack with burlap bag. You know, the bag that they transport rice and sugar. And
Yeah.
so I took that little cloth bag and I converted it into like a backpack.
Yep.
And I load up, I pack up some of my belongings and I went down to the docks. I think it was this Norwegian.
How old were you then?
I was like 15.
15? You still do the backpack thing now to
Yeah.
this day and age. That's what
Yeah.
you taught Saudi and I and everybody.
Still walking my backpack.
I remember you told us always have your backpack and always keep it packed for an
Yep.
adventure. Always have a backpack.
Always have your backpack ready in the car.
Yeah, I always have that. To this day, I always
Yeah.
have my backpack
Yep.
ready.
So I went down to the docks and I saw this Norwegian cruise line ship.
Yeah.
I think it was a cargo ship, a merchant marine,
Yeah.
merchant ship. So I snuck on board on the ship and I was trying to hide out and a couple of the merchant guys saw me and said, what are you doing here? I said, I'm going with you guys. I said,
How old were you now?
15.
Oh,
They
shoot.
said, where are
So
your
wait, what
parents?"
about your mom and your dad? What were they doing? They didn't know
They
where you
asked me the same question. They said, well, where are your parents? I said, they're home. Where are you going? I said, wherever this boat is going, I'm going. Guys, so the captain came and
Oh my
talked to me
gosh.
and he said, I can't have you get on this boat. It's illegal.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. So they threw me out. And they threw my bag after me. Said, here, go home. Go back to your parents. I said, okay.
Damn.
Yep,
I didn't know that. So you really were trying to get the hell out of
yep,
Trinidad?
yep.
Where were you, where in your mind, where were you going? What were you trying to do? Just
Where-
anywhere?
Wherever the boat goes.
You just didn't want to be where you were at?
Just wanted to be sailing free.
Sailing free out there,
Yep,
exploring and adventuring and
yep.
yeah, I know, I feel that. You still are like that. You still want to be out there free,
Still the same
wild,
way. Yep.
adventurous. I think that's what makes you so
Energized.
energized, yeah. And what else? What does it do? Like, makes you feel good?
Yeah, makes you like to explore. And I think everybody should travel the world
Yeah.
and become culturally diverse. Because people are so hung up if you're a world traveler, you learn to respect different cultures and people.
Oh, I agree with you, yeah.
When people don't travel and they don't explore and experience different cultures and how people live and their habitats and stuff, their minds are just shallow, you know?
Yeah.
They
They're like too full of themselves, like
like
hung up on
yeah,
stupidest things.
hung up
Yeah.
about things. So
Yeah. I hear you with that one,
and
yeah.
they can relate to poverty and wealth.
Yeah.
you know.
In America, we have it so good, right?
Yeah.
Compared to like
Oh,
three
yeah.
quarters of the world.
I can tell you all about poverty.
Yeah. People think they have it so hard here in America. It's like you don't. You
Yeah,
don't have
but-
no idea what poverty is at all in
Yeah, they're all a
America.
bunch of pussies. You know?
I agree. We are a bunch of pussies.
Yeah.
Most people, they're complaining that they had to wait 5 minutes in their Starbucks for their $8 cup of coffee.
You know, right?
You know, like,
Yeah.
oh my God, why am I gonna wait 5 minutes in this drive-through?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
I
Okay.
don't go to Starbucks anymore because I went to Starbucks one time and people in line there, you stand in line for 10 minutes and people in front of you and they're watching the board to figure out what they want to order. And then when they get up there, they're like, let me see, I'll take a frappuccino, I'll take a chocolate, the next one want this or that. So
I know. Meantime, they've been standing there for 5 minutes, 10 minutes,
and you
right?
can't freaking figure out what the hell you want. So when my turn came, I said, listen, I don't want no fag latte, I don't want no fuck latte, all I want is a manly cup of coffee. And they all look at me like, what's wrong with you? I said, you guys standing here trying to figure out this shit for 5 minutes, and the line is waiting, and I'm double packed, and I came outside and I got a ticket on my car Just
Yeah.
waiting to get a cup of
Because
coffee.
people can't make up their decisions. There are too many options, right? Compared
Yeah.
to the world where you don't have that many options at
So
all.
when I asked for
So-
a manly cup of coffee, I got a lot of smiles
Yeah.
from people.
But in Trinidad, you didn't have all those options, right?
No.
So you just had either right or wrong, or I'm out of here, or I'm going to stay. And you chose to I'm going to get out of here.
That's right.
So what did your mom and dad think when you came back? They didn't know that you tried to run away on a ship?
No, I didn't mention it to them. I was going to get my ass whipped again. What?
Man,
They would have sent me to some Vatican home or someplace, huh?
man. So your mom couldn't control you, your dad couldn't control you. But so what did your dad do to instill good moral values and principles? Did you admire your dad?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. What did you admire about him?
Well, he's an achiever.
Yeah.
He
Hard worker,
hard worker, visionary.
Yeah.
He had many businesses going. We got up real early. Went to work with him as little ones, and
So he taught you about responsibility, ownership,
hard work,
loyalty,
Yep.
family values, core values of family, loyalty,
Yep.
right? Honoring.
Honoring,
Even though you were a rebel, you still did you respect your mom and dad?
of course.
Yeah. Oh, she get your ass whipped, right?
Yeah.
That was part of the process.
You always respect your mom and dad.
Yeah.
You don't disrespect the ones who brought life into you.
Exactly right. That's
Yeah.
true. I agree with that. No matter even how screwed up they might be, or they're trying to figure it out, right? You still
Yeah.
have a level of respect and honor for them, whether right.
Yep.
So he instilled all these core values and traits in you when you were growing up. What about your grandparents? You said you stayed with your grandparents
Yeah.
in the farm. Like, I never met them. I don't know anything about
You
them.
saw the video I sent you.
Oh, yeah,
That's
I
my
saw that.
grandfather. He looked at Mahatma Gandhi.
You gotta point them out to me. But
And
what?
my grandmother, she was a white lady.
Oh, really?
Very fair Indian from Kashmir, India.
Wow.
That's like the Swiss of India.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
They were what, second, third generation in Trinidad? Was that the second generation
Second.
that came
First generation.
before them? But before them there were other people before them that came on the slave ships.
No.
They were the first generation that
First
came
generation,
on
yeah.
the slave ships.
Yep.
So what era was that? 1800s?
In the 1800s.
1800s?
Yeah.
Man,
Brought there,
incredible.
and Africans who were brought to Trinidad to work on the sugar cane
Yeah.
and the rice plantation.
So that's why they had the farms. They were working on those farms, so they owned
Yeah.
that farm.
No, well, they were working, and part of the agreement, they saved their money. Whatever, they used to get like 20 cents a day,
Yeah.
25 cents a day, not an hour a day. And they saved their money, and they were able to buy some land, and from that it multiplied, and they eventually ended up owning hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of acres of prime
Really?
property. Yeah, prime properties, man.
Was part of the agreement to, how in Louisiana when you heard about like the slaves, part of the agreement was to get part of the land, get
Yep.
work.
Yep.
Did they have that agreement?
Same principle.
So they had hundreds of acres of property and land.
Yep.
It's incredible. I didn't
A lot
know
of
that.
coffee and cocoa.
So you learned. So they taught you, and you learned a lot from them.
Mhm.
What were they like? What was your grandfather like?
Very quiet person, but very loving, very caring.
Yeah.
And of course, they had a lot of children too, a lot of boys
Children.
and girls. I think like 12 or more.
Wow.
So when all the grandchildren and everybody get together, it's like a massive party,
Yeah.
Go to their home, their house in the country.
Yeah.
That's massive. And we all get together, and my grandfather used to give us all a little penknife,
Yeah.
and he would select a couple of trees, and he said, listen, this is your tree, that's your tree, this is the best oranges, the sweetest oranges you could possibly think of. And he said you can sit there and just suck all the oranges you need.
Oh, nice.
jumping on different trees, you know.
Yeah.
So he was very selective because it takes years for these trees to cultivate and grow
Yeah.
and reap the fruits, you know.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So,
So he's very loving. He's very
yeah.
giving.
And before we leave, yeah, my uncles used to go in the bush and they come back with all these big bunches of bananas, different types, and all kinds of tropical fruits that you never even can imagine. You know?
Wow.
And they would pack bags,
Yeah.
and each one of the family members would get a big bag of everything to take home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about your grandmother? What was she like?
Very sweet, beautiful, always
She's
smiling.
fair skinned.
Yeah, always smiling,
Yeah.
always have a smile on her face.
Did she work in the farms too?
No.
No. She took care of the kids in the house.
Yeah, household cook.
How many brothers? How many children do you have? You said you had 12. Like,
Yeah.
how do you know how many men and
4
women?
girls,
Or,
and the rest is boys.
okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're probably not alive.
Actually, there's 2 of them still alive.
There's 2 of them still
One of
alive.
my favorite uncles. That's the one who taught me a lot about survival.
So your uncle taught you a lot about survival.
Yep. Working in the farm.
What kind of things? What about survival? Like what exactly?
Well, taught me
How to study the landscape, read the landscape and stuff, or
how to get up real early, get your day started,
yeah.
do your chores, do different things. And me, I like to do things once, not twice. So
Yeah.
I said, if I'm going to do something, I better do it right the first time, but sure as hell ain't going to fucking do it the second time. You know?
Yeah, I learned that lesson plenty of times. I think I'm still learning the lesson.
I try to do it right the first time.
So he taught you survival. And what else did he teach you?
Um,
Like survival. Like what'd you learn from him?
well, how to live off the land,
Okay.
how to light a fire without any
So he taught you how to be a man, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. 10 years old.
10 years old.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of strong father figures in your life that helped mold you into the man
Mhm.
at a young age.
Yep.
They didn't baby you around, did they?
No.
Never babied you out.
No.
Never gave,
But they always share love, a lot of love.
But they did
strong discipline.
strong discipline.
Yeah, strong discipline, lots of love.
Yeah.
Very caring.
Yeah.
But they instill these certain values in you that. And my mom used to say, listen, you guys come in the kitchen, learn to cook.
Yeah.
You know, so we all get together on a Sunday and everybody's doing something. And she said, one day you're going to be on your own, so you better learn now. And she was so damn right.
Yeah.
Because if we didn't learn how to use the utensils and learn how to cook, I'll be starving today.
So your mom taught you.
Everybody.
Everybody, one day you're going to be on your own, you better learn how to cook. That's why you're such a great cook now.
Every Sunday, everybody has something to do.
That makes sense now, why you're such a great cook.
Oh, yeah.
Because you love to eat, and you come up with these fantastic dishes.
I get creative when I cook.
You put all the Chinese people and all the West Indians to shame with the cooking, right?
Yep. Of course.
For somebody who was undisciplined, wanting to run away, studying girls, you had some good, strong father figures, and with that whole situation, you were able to learn a lot about life. That's great.
Then when I finally got the opportunity to leave Trinidad.
How old were you when you got the opportunity to leave?
I was 18.
18.
Well, I did went to school. I went to school. I took some courses privately.
Did you ever graduate? And whatever they graduate from school? No?
Nah.
No?
Graduate? What? I graduate as a dunce. I wouldn't say that.
Well, you didn't have school smarts, but you had
correct that. A first class dunce.
first class dunce.
But I was bright.
You were bright because you had the discipline.
Yeah.
You had the resolve. You had resilience. And you had good father
Yeah.
figures that helped.
So
Yeah.
I finally I went and I got my passport, right? I
Yeah.
said, great, first accomplishment in my life, I got a passport. Now I can leave. Not knowing that shit, I have other hurdles to cross here. I got to get a visa.
Yeah.
So I went and I got the paperwork and I filled out everything myself. And I typed up, I used to type back then, we had a typewriter, and I type up a letter stating I'm working with my dad, that he has multiple businesses, and I'm working doing this, da.
Yeah.
And so I went down to the U.S. Embassy in Port of Spain, Trinidad, and I walked in and I went, saw the receptionist. She said, what are you here for? I said, I'm here to apply for a visa. She said, okay, you got your paperwork? I said, here it is. I gave it to her. She said, okay, she will call you.
Yeah.
So while sitting there, I'm hearing people complaining, boy, I come here like every year, 3 times a year, trying to get a visa, and all they keep getting is run around, people complaining, and so on the floor, they have these tape, red, green, blue, and yellow.
Yeah.
So, and those markings lead to different offices. So I'm sitting there waiting, and I figure I'm going to be a while. So I decided to walk outside. I said, let me go smoke a cigarette. I had to hide and smoke now, right?
Yeah.
So I went outside.
Is that when you first started smoking? Or when did you first smoke?
Yeah, I learned that from my cousins. You know,
They all were smoking?
the older one of them. He
Yeah.
was Kenny. Yeah, he used to smoke, and I kind of picked it up from him.
How old were you when you started?
Jeez, I was like 14, I think.
Damn.
Yeah. So I came back 2 hours later, and I said to anybody, did they ever call my name? They said no. So I sat there, not even half an hour. They called my name, Raj. Follow the green line.
Yeah.
So I'm looking on the floor. I followed the green line. And that green line, I went up to the cage, the booth, and the immigration, the embassy personnel was interviewing me, and we had some idle conversation. We chatted for a while. He looking at my paperwork, and we're talking. And she said, "So you working with your dad?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You went to school?" I said, "Yeah." So what are you doing? I said, well, right now I'm working with T and Tech. I'm operating cranes and bulldozers and truck driving everything. He said, you're doing all that? I said, yeah. I'm very versatile here, you know.
So I think you should back up before you go too far in the story.
Yeah.
People probably wouldn't understand what T and Tech means and all this and what
T
you're
and
doing.
Tech.
Like, what were you doing with
Yeah.
your dad's businesses?
Climbing these poles and stringing up lines, running electricity throughout the country.
Okay.
You know, and it was hard, manual labor. We didn't have the equipment
Yeah.
to lift things. We had to do this by hand, dude. Climb these 150-foot poles and stuff by hand.
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't easy shit, man.
And you guys did all of that.
Everything. And so the guy interviewed me, and we chatting and talking, and then we started to smile. And he said, and he took his stamp and he stamped my passport. He said, yeah, have a great trip, have a good vacation. I'm like, give me a 6-month visa. I was like, what? I stuck my hand under the thing and I shook it and I said, thank you so much, sir. And
You're free.
yeah, and you know how come I got that visa?
How?
Because my hair was long. I was the only hippie in Trinidad before the hippie ever came out, before the Beatles. Okay?
Oh
And
yeah.
I used to get my ass whipped because my dad liked to keep us all clean cut.
Oh,
My hair
really?
was long, and was red. That's why they used to call me Red Boy, Red Man.
Red man, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember your mom telling us that.
So I took a shower that day. I wore nice slacks, looked clean, and I wore a tie. I still have that necktie. It's a black, very thin tie
Yeah.
with a nice beige shirt. So I look like real dapper, you know?
Yeah.
And
Your
so-
hair was still long? too?
Yeah, it's combed back nicely and everything.
All right.
And when I came out there, people looked at me and said, how'd you do, boy? I said, I got a visa. They said, but how come? What the ass wrong with you? I've been coming here for 3 years. One man said, come in here like 5 years. And I said, it's all in the tag. It's the way you present yourself, presentation.
Yeah,
Has
yeah.
a lot to do with everything.
Oh yeah. That's why you're so
Yeah.
strict on now
That's
presentation and looking presentable out there in the world. Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember you taught us that.
How you present yourself.
Yeah.
So don't draw attention. So I got the visa. I couldn't wait to go and tell Ma and Pa. And within 2 weeks' time, I was out of the country.
Oh wow. Where'd you go?
Came to New York City.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Why New York City?
I had family there. My eldest brother was there, my sister.
Oh nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So from there, hung out. I worked 3 jobs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
3 jobs.
I worked in 2 supermarkets and a gas station in Long Island.
Oh wow.
I used to commute 5 o'clock in the morning from Manhattan to Long Island. I'd take 2 trains to get there. Work the gas station from 7 to like 3.
Yeah.
Come back. Then I go to work in the grocery from 5 to 9.
Yeah.
Right? And then on
Cold.
weekends.
Cold.
Yeah, it's getting temperature change now. Like
Okay.
fucking Arctic glass here. I need a fresh cup of
Best
antifreeze.
cup of coffee here. Your mom
Antifreeze.
gets- Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what you're saying.
And then I went back, and on weekends I worked too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
So 3 jobs.
and then and your mom was up here.
So who was here?
Your mom came up to study cosmetology.
You guys weren't married then, right?
No,
Dating?
no.
You dating?
No.
We won't go into that yet. We're gonna save some of this for
Yeah.
later, but we're gonna just talk because that's a whole nother video
Yeah,
in
yeah,
itself
yeah.
of how you guys came
Yeah.
to be and how you met and all that
Yeah.
stuff. We can't spill it all out in like one episode. We gotta make sure we have multiple episodes.
You can never replicate this whole thing again. This is a one-time thing only.
Yeah.
Nobody can ever replicate how we got hooked up.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that in the
So-
next episode. But let's talk about you came to New York.
Yeah,
You started
I
working the
worked,
jobs. Who
and
was
then-
up here before you came up here?
Uncle Ramesh and Auntie
Who's
India.
Uncle Ramesh?
Huh? My brother.
For people who don't know,
Oh.
your brother.
My brother
Your
Ramesh
brother?
and
Okay.
my sister Indra.
All right.
They were married. So,
Okay. That's your oldest brother, right?
Yeah,
And
oldest
then
brother and
Tiandra is
sister.
your
sister.
oldest sister. So they migrated to New York
Yep.
to start a new life,
Yeah.
or to figure out the world now.
Yep.
Okay, and then you were like, okay, I'm gonna follow suit.
Mhm.
Wait, what age were you in the whole hierarchy of your 12 siblings?
I was in the middle.
Which position? You were in the middle, so you're like
Oh.
number 6.
I have twins older than me, so if you count them as 1, I'm 6. If you count them as 2, I'm 7.
So you're 7 or 6.
Yeah.
So it's Uncle Ramesh, Tiandra,
Sandra,
Sandra,
Bonnie,
Uncle Bunny,
Biggie, Smalley,
Biggie Smalley,
me,
right on the fingers, you,
me, Indar,
Uncle Endar,
Devan,
David,
Nalini,
Melanie,
Indira,
Tira,
and Sintra.
Cynthia. Yep, that's 12, all right.
Yep, the dirty dozen.
Did your mom only have 12, or were there some that she had
I think it was 12.
pregnant and
Nah.
some passed away?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
That
She
story.
never said anything like that?
No.
Did your dad have any kids outside of marriage?
Think so. Yeah.
Asking hard questions, yeah?
She's older than my mom.
Oh, really?
Think so. My mom
Okay.
got married when she was 13. And
13?
yeah.
Yeah, but back then it was arranged marriages, right?
Yeah, she just got her uniform to go to school, and all of a sudden she got hooked up to get married.
Man, how was your dad when he got married?
I don't know. He was older than her, I guess.
Man, okay. So 13 years old, and then she started having kids,
Yeah.
pretty much. But that's what they did back then in that. That's what the Indian culture did, right?
Yeah, that's the Indian cultural era.
Yeah.
All kinds of crazy customs they have.
Yeah, but I mean, they had big families because you guys had businesses and you support the businesses and the families, and everything stayed. It's kind of like the Chinese culture, right? They all have big families and they all work together and help each other.
Yep.
And you know, so if one is successful, everyone's successful.
Pretty
It's
much,
not just
yeah.
like families working and clashing against each other, right?
No.
Like nowadays, families like work against each other.
Oh man, I seen it growing up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see wealthy families and all the children suffering, but the people wouldn't part with nothing, but they kept it. They held on to it till the very last breath, and then the siblings started fighting and killing each other for everything.
Yeah, well, because they didn't have the. Why do you think that though? Why do you think that the siblings started fighting and killing each other?
Because
For
I guess back in them days, people didn't plan things ahead.
it? Yeah.
Nothing was put on paper.
Do you think that they didn't develop children to be able to be a successor?
To be self-sustaining.
Yeah, or be a successor of the company, or instill
Nah.
those.
They never,
That mindset?
they never like said, listen, if after my demise you take over, and we kept it going and stuff, you know.
You never said
It's
that.
all, it's all inheritance, whatever. Like my grandparents' estate,
Yeah.
very lush estate. The grandchildren, right, destroyed the entire fucking estate. They plowed on everything.
What did they do with
It's
it?
a sad shame what they did.
Did they do it for development? They sell the land out to build homes and stuff.
They're planting pineapples. Entire thing's all pineapple because it's a fast scrap, quick money. In the meanwhile, you have everything to sustain life on that property. You don't even need to go outside and buy anything. You got everything there. Now they have to go buy an orange. They have to buy the bananas. They got to buy the coffee and the cocoa.
And they got to go work to make $1 when they have the land
Yeah.
working for them, right?
Everything.
So it's total backwards. So they pretty much put themselves at a lower level when they had everything, because they couldn't handle what they were given, right?
Such a lush, green estate.
So do you think they couldn't handle
They-
what
they
was
could
given to
handle it,
them?
But
Or the mindset was just
their
totally
mindset,
like
they're totally
low level
irresponsible.
thinking,
Yeah,
irresponsible. Like I want to just create everything on my own and do it all again. So they recreate the wheel again, basically.
Destroyed everything that took hundreds of years, a lot of years to grow. And bananas and citrus don't grow in 5 years.
Yeah.
You wait 7, 8 years for a tree to start blooming.
So why do you think they destroyed it all? Like I mean, I know we answered it, but what's another reason you think
They claim that they couldn't find good help
could help?
to work the cocoa and the shit at the coffee plantation. It's hard work.
Well, yeah, it's hard
You know,
work.
You gotta go like walk 2-3 miles down in the estate and cut cocoa
And I guess that,
pods and crack them open and put the pods in a big backpack thing
yeah.
that's made out of vine.
So I
And you
guess-
have to walk that back and then dump it out and clean it up and put it out in the sun. So because the cocoa pods, the seeds, you can suck them. It's sweet,
Yeah.
sugar. So
Yeah.
you have to let that dry out.
Okay.
Good. And then you put it in the cocoa house, a house that opens up so the sun can hit it. And then when it's gonna rain, you push the whole roof back and you cover it up.
Yeah, making sure we're still recording there. So, what was I gonna say? I lost the train of thought. The question I wanted to ask was important. So they destroyed. So they couldn't handle. Oh, I remember. So they couldn't handle the hard work, right? Because it's hard work,
Yep.
and
They
not
couldn't-
everybody
they
wants to.
couldn't find help.
Couldn't find the
get
help.
people to work.
Couldn't get that work. So they couldn't. They just
But there were
weren't good
people-
managers and
people out
leaders.
there, yeah, there were people out there willing to come and do the stuff.
They just didn't want to manage people and develop themselves, I guess, right? They couldn't handle it. Because
Yeah.
you got to be able to manage people, right? And
Because-
find people and recruit people and keep them engaged.
Because you got to constantly cultivate the land in terms of you have to keep cutting all the weeds and overgrowth around the
Yeah.
street. You can't just let plant and then walk away.
So
You
this,
have, you have to constantly, it's like a cycle.
so they squandered their fortune
Yeah.
and settled for scraps.
Exactly so.
That's the right way to put it.
Yep.
And we see that a lot nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Even now, even the next generation that came along, there's so much inheritances that were inherited, but the next their offspring, not that generation, the next one, like us,
Yeah.
like my generation, basically, right? That you see a lot of them squandering the inheritances away because they're settling for the scraps
Exactly.
of whatever it is that they want to pursue in the fad, right? The easy work, and then quick money, which never happens like that, right? There's no such thing as quick money, right?
Talking about quick money, I gotta go scalp the market again.
You gonna scalp the
I'm back-
market?
I'm back in
Alright.
day trading.
Yeah.
I win some, lose some, win some, lose some. And I lose, then I won. So,
Okay.
but I'm getting better at it. I'm getting
Yes,
better
good.
option trading. Quick
So,
in and
so
out.
we'll end this then, so you can go and do it, and then
Yep.
we'll do episode 2 tomorrow or something.
It's a cut.
Coffee with Dad. All right,
Yep.
Dad, love you.
Love you too.
Take care. Thanks for sharing that. Hope
Yep.
you guys find value,
Yep.
and we'll do it again.
All right.
All right.
I have to continue.